Magandang araw and welcome to our subject. So for this day, we will be talking about the introduction to general chemistry. So before we start, I am Ernie Avila, a part-time faculty of this college, and I will be your instructor for this subject. So, ang requirement natin dito is you have to answer the post-assessment question together with the quiz that I will be giving. So 2 months lang ito since this is a 3-unit subject. So you are expected to submit your outputs every now and then. Okay, for the purpose of, since meron tayong kasabay na subject, you are encouraged to watch this after Sir Juvy's subject. Okay? So to start with the history of chemistry, okay, according to this, the chemistry has been important since ancient times kasi the processing of natural ores to produce metal for ornaments and weapons are discovered during the 1000 BC. So here, ang pinagagamitan ng chemistry noon is more on for the ornaments and weapons and embalming. When I say embalming, yung pagpapreserve ng patay. Okay? And then here, according to this, the Greeks were the first one to try chemical changes. So, nangyari ito ng 400 BC and then they proposed noon during the time of Aristotle that there were 4 fundamental substances that comprises a matter, on which it includes earth, fire, air, and water. Unfortunately, several proponents such as Democritus and Leucippus were able to identify or propose that there are certain small particles that comprises a matter. Unfortunately, Leucippus and Democritus have no experiment to test their ideas. That is why their conclusions are left untouched for several centuries after their contemporaries. And then in the next 2000 century or 2000 years or 2 centuries, there were about, tama ba ako? So there were about the alchemy. When I say alchemy, this is a pseudoscience. Ang target ng alchemy noon is to find yung fountain of youth, yung hindi mamamatay, together with gold. So they are trying their best during that time to find a best way to transform an item to gold. Halimbawa, yung ihi ng tao, they wanted to convert it to gold. So that is why dumami yung mga experiment about alchemy. And then, however, some alchemists were serious scientists and then they saw several advances such as yung mga elements and then preparation of several mineral acids. That is why they were able to identify certain elements and substances as well. So here, you can see that the first chemist to perform a quantitative experiment is Robert Boyle. So, ang ginawa niya is he measured the relationship between pressure and volume of air. So, he wrote a book. Ang title ng book is Skeptical Chemist. And then, he wrote in that book the different behavior of gases based or founded on his experiments that is quantitatively tested. Okay? Other contribution of Boyle is, sabi niya, meron daw pong different elements. And then, because of that, when they combine daw one element to another, it will form a substance that is either simpler or a complex substance. Okay? And then, because of that, yung Boyle's experimental definition has been accepted. And then, ang nangyari is, ang dami-daming na-identify na mga bagong elements. And then, the scientists, after Boyle's experiment, were able to test several several compositions of substances. Here, sabi dito, he clung to the alchemist views that metal are not true elements. That is why nagbago in the latter years yung concept about metals. And then, sabi niya kasi, ang metals daw can be transformed into a different element, a different substances. So that is why medyo nabago yung ating notion about kay metal in the latter experiments ng mga sumunod sa kanyang scientist. And after Boyle, another productive scientist or chemist is John Dalton. Si John Dalton po is the one who proposed the atomic theory of matter. So dito, ang concept niya is not really originated from himself, but rather, nag-originate siya sa idea of Democritus. If you can remember in the previous slide, Democritus is the person who proposed that matter is comprises of atomus or small indivisible material. So, yun yung ginamit ni Dalton. That is why nagkaroon siya ng modern atomic theory. Okay? So, here in his proposal, Dalton's theory was different kasi meron na siya, of course, ng experiments. And sabi niya dito, law of conservation of masses and definite proportion have been derived from experimental result. That is why, kung nung panahon ni Democritus ay hindi accepted yung kaniyang theory, ngayon kay Dalton, accepted na siya. Okay? And because of that, according to Dalton, all matter is comprises of atom. And what is atom? Atom is the indivisible particle of matter, the smallest indivisible particle of matter rather, comprises of different properties such as size, shape, and mass, and is different from other atoms of other elements. And in order for you to perform daw, according to Dalton, in order for you to perform or to develop another substance, you have to reshuffle, or you have to have a reaction of two or more atoms of a different elements to combine with each other. Therefore, magpo-produce siya ng another form of substance. So, dito nagsimula yung law of conservation of mass. So, sabi dito ni Dalton, the total mass must remain constant when the reaction occur. Ibig sabihin dito, kung ano yung dami ng atom in the reactants, ganyan din kadami yung atom na mabubuo sa product. Okay? And ang nangyayari dito, walang nangyayaring loss of a certain atom. Tingnan nyo tong example. Dalawa ang atom ng hydrogen at dalawa ang atom ng oxygen para makabuo ng dalawang molecule of water. Kung titingnan ninyo, ilan ang atom ng hydrogen? So, ang atom ng hydrogen is 4. At ang atom ng oxygen ay 2. Ngayon, napunta sa answer yung 2 ng oxygen dito sa product, yung pinakadulo. Pag minultiply natin yung 2 by 1 na invisible pero understood, so yon, may 2 pa rin na atom si oxygen. Okay? Siguro nare-recall ninyo ito during your high school. Okay? Another law derived from the Dalton's atomic theory is the law of chemical combination. So here, ang atom daw or molecule that is either solid, liquid, or gases can be combined in a different proportion or definite proportion by weight or by volume. So dito, ang nangyari dito is nag-formulate tayo ng iba't ibang law on chemical combination. Mababanggit na siya later. Okay? And then this is the foundation of stoichiometry. Stoichiometry rather. This is a branch of chemistry kung saan minimeasure natin yung mass of reactant and the mass of product. Pag sinabi natin reactant, ito yung mga elements or yung timbang ng elements na kinombine natin, ilan yung atom ng elements, and yung product is ano yung naging end product nung kinombine natin yung different elements. And then, of course, this led to the development of theory concerning the nature of matter. Okay? And later on, nabuo itong mga sumusunod. So, the first one is the law of conservation of mass. Ito ay base din kay John Dalton's atomic theory. Okay? This law was discovered by Anton Lavoisier in 1789, kung saan inassume niya na ang matter cannot be created nor destroyed. So, kung saan yung total mass of material present after a chemical reaction is the same as before the reaction. Nabanggit na siya kanina kung gaano kadami yung atom ng isang substance or ng isang element na reactant, ganun din kadami yung atom during the after the reaction or the chemical reaction or yung tinatawag nating product. Okay? Walang nawawala, but rather nagiging constant yung kanyang timbang even there is a reaction. And then because of that, the result of this is an equal measurement of mass of reactant and product. Ulitin ko ulit, equal yung measurement, equal yung timbang ng mass at product. Okay, example is, ayun, pasensya na, hindi ko makopya-kopya yung example na mula sa module. Nahihirapan akong i-paste siya sa PowerPoint. So, example nito is si calcium carbonate. That is, ang symbol ng calcium again is Ca, capital C. Carbon is C, and ang carbonate, ang chemical symbol ng carbonate is CO3. Maliit na 3 yung 3, pero hindi siya lumiliit kasi sa PowerPoint. So, pag hiniwalay natin si calcium carbonate, by undergoing thermal decomposition, magkakaroon siya ng dalawang product. This is a lime, that is the calcium oxide, yung CaO. And then, yung another byproduct niya is carbon dioxide gas, that is CO2. So, pag tiningnan daw natin yung kanyang mga atomic masses, carbon is 40, calcium is 40, carbon is 12, and oxygen is 16. Pag minultiply natin siya, 40 plus 12. Saan galing yung 40 plus 12 plus 3 times 16? Saan galing yung 40? 40 is the atomic mass of carbon. 12 is the atomic mass of 40 is the atomic mass of calcium. 12 is the atomic mass of carbon. And then 3 is the atomic mass of oxygen multiplied by 16 kasi 16 yung atomic mass ng oxygen multiplied by 3 atoms. So yan, ang pag tiningnan natin 100 itong mass ng product, which is the reactant rather, and then parehas ang kanyang mass after the reaction, which is 56 plus 44. That is 100 pareho. Okay? Para malinawan, balikan ninyo yung module ninyo kasi nandun yung mga detailed explanations. Next is the law of multiple proportion. When I say multiple proportion, pag kinombine natin yung different element, magre-react siya and to form one or more compound. Take note na hindi lang one yung compound na mafu-form. In such cases, daw, yung way ng element that combine is still having a fixed weight of another of this element. So, ang ibig sabihin ng law of multiple proportion, pag pinagsama-sama mo na siya lahat, regardless of pinagsama-sama mo siya lahat po, pare-pares pa din yung timbang ng bawat isang element. Okay? And then, pag dito naman sa law of balikan natin yung law of multiple proportion. Dito sa law of multiple proportion, kung meron kang carbon dioxide, may a certain proportion si carbon and then si oxygen para mabuo si carbon dioxide. Okay? Pag law of definite proportion naman, this is primarily on the experiments of Proust, kung saan ang compound daw, when broken into constituent elements, pag pinaghiwa-hiwalay natin yung bumubuo sa isang compound, yung mass ng constituent na yon ay kaparehas ng mass ng proportion or ng proportion ng bawat isang element na nandun sa compound na yon. Okay? So, para magkaroon kayo ng halimbawa, buklatin ninyo ang module ninyo. Nandun yung explanation. And then, here again, sabi dito, pwede siyang dalawang uri ang definite proportion, analysis and synthesis. Pag analysis po, the component is broken down into different elements. Okay, whereas in the synthesis, ang elements naman ay kino-combine. Ano pagkakaiba ng analysis ulit? Ang analysis, pinaghihiwa-hiwala yung component. Pag synthesis naman is pinagsasama-sama. Okay, and laboratory daw, synthesis will be used to determine the amount of the different element which make up a compound. So example, meron kang dalawa, ang ginawa ni Proust is may dalawa siyang sample ng calcium carbonate. One is the natural origin and then the other one was synthetic one. Tingnan natin kung parehas siya. Okay? So here, ang natural sample nung compound na yon 51.35. Ang copper sa synthetic 51.35. Pag sinabi nating natural, galing siya sa sa environment. Pag synthetic, ginawa siya sa laboratory. Pag sa oxygen naman, 9.74, 9.74 din yung synthetic. Yung carbon naman is 38.91 and 38.91 sa synthetic. Therefore, kahit saan mo gawin, it's either analysis or synthesis, parehas yung proportion nila. Okay? And this is referred again as definite proportion. And you have to remember this. The results are purely experimental. Okay? In nature. Meaning to say, hindi pa lahat ng substances natin is available, pero yung available na substances natin na may mga measurement na may mga proportions, more of them are product of sets of experiments conducted. And yung kanilang definite proportion, multiple proportion, and masses remains to be the same. Okay? And in conjunction, ang law of multiple proportion po ang isa sa nagsusupport sa atomic theory of matter. Kung saan again, the matter is composed of atoms. And then the atoms can be, again, ang bagay ay binubuo ng mga atom kasi ang matter bagay is bagay. So ngunyan or ngayon, ang matter kapag since matter is composed of an atom or more than one atom, so yung different atoms na yun can be coming from one element or coming from different elements that are combined in developing that substance. Okay? So, please take note of the activity that we have in our module, and I will be posting your instruction in our group chat. Thank you so much for listening.